Oh, hey, we're doing a video. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Dave Walpole and welcome to FTD Facts, the channel where we teach you everything about everything. And today we are talking about a really cool country. Okay, probably a country that America wants to build a wall around, but hey, I don't know, they're missing out. Now for me, I've actually been to Mexico. I went to Acapulco. I also visited my buddy Jorge, who I met on cruise ships way back in the day, and I loved it. We went to his graduation and it was really cool just to experience just the culture outside of the resort sort of thing. And you know what? I felt like it's time for me to do a video on this because, you know what, first of all, we've been getting requests to do it. For example, Cubic World, who's been really asking us to do this video, so we're doing it. And also, before I get in this video, I gotta ask, what country are you guys from? I'm from Canada here, but I also want to know, what do you like most about your country? Me? I love the socialized medicine, but that's because I've had a heart, operation twice. Anyways, let's do this. Now, when we think of Mexico, we like to stereotypically think of the taco, which is one of my favorite types of food. And yes, you think, oh yeah, the taco came from Mexico. Well, boom, you are right. Stereotype for the win. Now, the taco originated in Baja, Mexico, and as a matter of fact, the taco predates the Europeans landing in Mexico. History has indicated that people who lived in the Valley of Mexico ate tacos regularly. And as much as we like to think tacos are just nothing but beef, and you might go, ooh, to a fish taco, well, actually, fish tacos are the ones that came first, which I don't agree with because I think they're just disgusting. Ugh. Speaking of the Valley of Mexico, these people date back to over 10,000 years ago, making their artifacts the first discovered people of Mexico. But the first form of complex culture was the Olmec culture, which was about 1500 BC. Now, Mexico, I don't know why the states want to put up a border because it's a good country to do trading with. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, they only export like tequila or mezcal. But according to the Observatory of Economic Complexity, they say Mexico exports over $400 billion in goods per year. The biggest being crude petroleum, making 9.2%.
Miss Hoover, the floor is shaking.
Ralph, remember the time you thought...
However, if you look at the automotive industry, it completely destroys that 9.2. For example, cars make up 8.2%, delivery trucks make up 5.7%, vehicle parts also being 5.7%, and tractors being 2.1%. Now, when we think of Mexico, we like to think, well, it's all Spanish. But Spain didn't learn of Mexico until the 1518 expedition of Juan de Grijalva. It also is said that Hernando Cortez explored Mexico first, but that was more or less during the conquest over the Aztecs. This began in February of 1519 and lasted until August 13th of 1521. Wow, 3 years to conquer Mexico? That's insane. Now, Hernando originally landed on the shores of Cancun with 11 ships and 608 men. Now, he did conquer the Aztec Empire, but he had help with the local tribes. This is because the local tribes didn't really like the Aztecs. Now, speaking of conquering the Aztecs, let's talk about how that actually happened. Now, it's believed that a lot of the Aztecs and a lot of the local tribes died from smallpox infections. Now, smallpox was an epidemic in Spain, but Spaniards had become immune to it over the years of it being in their bodies and being introduced to it. But when the virus came over to the New World, they didn't have an immunity and it killed thousands. And by thousands, I'm actually incorrect because they say it killed probably up to 3 million Aztecs. Now, Mexico itself is a pretty packed country. It currently stands on the 11th most populous country scale with over 191 million people. Now, when we think of Mexico, we probably say, oh, people only speak Spanish or Espanol there. But that is not actually true. Believe it or not, they have 68 official languages. 68? Are you insane? Actually, we're not even touching that. They have over 130 indigenous languages. Now, the reason they still verify 68 of them is because of the 1917 Constitution that states that they want to preserve all forms of language. Now, when we talked about the Aztecs, let us talk about pyramids. Now, if I were to ask you where is the biggest pyramid, you'd probably say it's the Great Pyramid of Giza, or more accurately known as the Great Pyramid of Khufu. But But the Great Pyramid of Cholula is actually the biggest when it comes to mass. Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza has about 2.58 million meters cubed, and it is the tallest, being 146.5 meters. But the Great Pyramid of Cholula has 4.5 million meters cubed, but it only stands about 66 meters tall. It's a little short, fat guy.
Boy, I'm floating on a cloud of love.
Listen, you little blimp. I'll let the air out of you in a minute if you don't give me a hand. Understand it?
Thank you.
Now, did you guys know that Mexico's official name is Mexico of the United States? Yeah, I do find it kind of odd that they want to, build a wall around a country that is pretty much, like a brother to the United States, kind of with the same name, you know what I'm saying? Now, when we go to the movies, we love to get, besides, pop, we love to get good old-fashioned popcorn. If you guys get popcorn at the movie theater, hit that like button. Surprisingly, Mexico was the first country to have popcorn. Corn was first used 9,000 years ago, but they trace popcorn to 3,600 BCE. And scientists think that that was the first form of popcorn being introduced to humanity. And lastly, guys, I gotta close up with this one because print, although we use more or less computers nowadays, print has been probably the most important thing introduced to humanity. Now, many people will say the first printing press was in Massachusetts, which was set up by Mrs. Glover in a new college called Harvard back in 1638. Now, that might be true for the United States of America, but that is not true for the Americas. Believe it or not, Mexico had the first printing press about 100 years earlier. It was installed in 1539 in Mexico City, at the corner of Mundenda and Licenciado Primo Verdad. But the man who ran it was Juan Pablo, and he actually printed 35 books with that machine. So guys, that is it, the beautiful country known as Mexico. If I could ever recommend some place to go, that is the place to go for a vacation. Just whatever you do, don't drink the water, because otherwise you'll be sitting on a toilet for like 3 days. Yeah, it won't be fun. But guys, my name is Dave Wapple. It's been awesome talking about this cool country, but we want to know future videos from you guys. Put them down there in the comment section below. But thanks for watching. I'm Dave Wapple, and we'll see you guys in the next video. How do you say goodbye in Mexican? Spanish. Ciao? No, that's French. No. Au revoir? No, that is actually French. Ciao is not French. Oh, wait a minute. What am I thinking? It's adios. So guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.